All right, guys, I'm gonna show y'all how I like to rig up a Neko rig. The Neko rig has really taken off the last 4 to 5 years. Simplest thing in the world to do. All you need is whatever soft plastic you want to use. This is the Black Label Hollow Point, which I honestly think is probably the best worm out there for a Neko rig. I really had a Neko rig in mind when I made this worm, and I love this worm on a Carolina rig, love it on a shaky head, love to fish it as a wacky style, but it really shines to me as a Neko rig. These are some, I don't even know who makes these, Arsenal. These are Arsenal silicone tubes. And you can get these in various different sizes. This is, I think, the 4 millimeter, 5 millimeter. So the 5 millimeter Arsenal silicone tube, take you a little pair of pliers. These are made to install these where your tube just slides on there. When you compress the pliers, it opens the tube. And we're gonna take our hollow point. I'm gonna get one of my favorite color, plum apple. I don't care where you fish in the summertime, plum apple is hard to beat. So when you look at the hollow point worm, this is important. You see, you have a section of the worm that we've always called the egg sac. Basically what that is it's a little section in the middle of the worm where it's smooth, it doesn't have any texture. And it's really critical to me where I place this sleeve. And I'm gonna place this sleeve right where the worm sac or egg sac starts, okay? So you can see, I've just snapped that on there. I'm gonna take my little weight. This is just a little small, this is a 1/16, which is what I like the best right now. I'm fishing mostly, I'm around home and I'm fishing in that's less than 10 foot of water, let's just say, for the most part. So once you get that pressed up in there, now here's the deal. You take your hook of choice and you want to go, I like to go into the sleeve, right, and then out, just worm. A lot of people want to hook it all the way through the sleeve. I like to actually let my hook point go into the sleeve. It just kind of secures everything really well like that. And if you also notice, I put my hook on the flat side of the worm, not on the outward or the rounded side, but on the side of the worm that's flat. So the reason that having the hook or the sleeve, the place that it is, by bringing this way down towards the bottom of the worm, when I'm shaking this worm, the worm's not going to want to lean over and drag forward. So if you can imagine when it's on the bottom, as I'm shaking it, if I put my hook up, say where my fingers are now, when I pull it, it's going to just want to lay the worm over and drag it. So by dropping it down like I've got it here on the hollow point, as I pick this worm up on the bottom real slowly, it's just going to elevate that tail. And basically what you're doing is you're just creating a lower tipping point. So now I can kind of shake that worm and it'll kind of shake almost in place and it'll hop along. The main reason why I like to put the flat side down is I feel like that flat side of the worm helps that worm from wanting to come forward so fast. And also the hollow point, having a cupped out bottom and the tail of it, I want that cupped out portion facing forward because that's going to help it catch more water. And that's what makes this worm really so special, is the fact that this cupped out bottom along with this little bitty needle point tail on the end of it is what helps this worm have so much more action. So when I'm shaking this worm, that tail is going to really come to life. As I drag this worm along just real slowly on the bottom and shake it, that tail is going to really quiver and come to life real easy. But if you haven't fished with a Neko rig, it's absolutely one of the deadliest ways to catch fish this time of year that are kind of in that post-spawn funk, right? That's just something that we all deal with. Right now, across most parts of the country, you can go out early in the morning, it's a shad spawn deal. You can catch a bunch of fish early and then it just really gets really hard the rest of the day. And a finesse technique like this hollow point rigged on a Neko style or on a shaky head or however you choose to do it will be a technique that will get you a lot of bites throughout the rest of the day. But other than that, my setup is real simple. This is just a piece of 10-pound test fluorocarbon, 20-pound test main line. Actually, this is 15-pound test main line. I've got my arc spinning reel and a TFO Resolve 7-1 spinning rod. Cast it out there, let it sink to the bottom, shake it on kind of a slack line. Once you start to get the line to where you got too much slack in it to shake it, reel that up a little bit and shake it a little bit more. But if you haven't tried or you're looking for a great worm to try the Neko rig with, you should definitely take a look at the hollow point. It will absolutely get you a lot of bites.